Well boys, welcome back to the channel. Day 3 being in the new shop. We are pretty much settled into the shop. Everything that I need mainly is now in the shop and we can start getting to work. But today is the day we are finally starting our work on both of the Hawkeyes. Today's goal is to get both of the motors pulled on these Hawkeyes. If you guys are new here, I picked up two 07 STIs, both blown up. This one has rod knock and the other one I believe to have ringland failure. So both motors have to come out, get stripped down. I'm building motors for these cars anyway, so it does not matter. I got a better deal with them blown up than buying a running one. It's time to get the motor out of this one. I'm going to start with Rodney because I'm just really interested to see how bad this motor is. This one I'm sure isn't too bad. It's ringland failure, at least that is what I believe it is. But I really want to just start with good old Rodney. This car is so much worse than what I thought. It is pretty bad. Everything is so damn rusty. As you can tell by the brace bar, rusty, it's just flaking apart. Right under the battery tray, rusty. All the bolts to hold the skid plate on are all rusty. Half of them just snapped off. Like, just ridiculous. So once I have this motor out, we can get this car in the air and do a quick rundown on the car to see how bad this rust actually is. I'm really nervous to see how under the car looks. I just got the car jacked up. I'm honestly kind of terrified to see how under the car looks, how the frame looks, if it's rusted out or not. I have a pretty good feeling that this car's frame and structural integrity will be compromised by rust, but we'll take a look. So I just removed the passenger side axle. The reason I'm doing that, pulling this motor, is the bottom bolt for the bell housing that holds the transmission to your motor that is in line with the axle. It is stripped and rusted, so I was not able to get it out well. So I took out the axle so I can hopefully get in there better. Removing that axle made getting that nut off a million times easier. It came off right away. I used the impact this time because normally you have to use like a flex head ratchet to be able to get to that nut, but you take out the axle and it's very easy. Normally you wouldn't need to because normally they're not rusted on there and crusty, but if yours ever are and you cannot get it off, remove your axle, and it comes out like butter. Hey Siri, FaceTime. All right, well it is now the next day. I hope you guys saw it on camera. I'll probably do like a slow motion for you guys. But I took a flathead straight up the nose and it was pretty bad. I was bleeding a lot. So luckily, good neighbor took me to the hospital and got that all fixed up. But unfortunately that did end my day yesterday and not get nearly as far as I wanted to. It was worse too because I have been fighting getting this motor out of this car for so long now. Every bolt is rusty, they're snapping, stripping, all that fun stuff. So it's just been a headache getting this motor out. I'll show you guys what I was doing. This hose here, I was trying to get off. And realistically, I probably should have just cut it off like I did on the coolant lines for the heater core on the back, but I was so determined to get it off. And then I took a flathead straight up the nose in response. That was genuinely terrifying though. When it went up to my nose, I pulled it out and it just started bleeding everywhere. I don't know how much I can show of that on YouTube before I get demonetized, but it was not fun at all. It was actually kind of terrifying. But we are now back next day to get this motor disassembled. And there we have it, guys. We have one of the motors taken out of the HAWKEYE, heads taken off, sitting on the shelf. Bolts for me have always gotten misplaced. I've never had a good way of organizing them, but I have this bolt organizer and I have all the bolts sectioned off for areas. I already know where every bolt goes, so I just have them thrown around in sections in there. But this way, I'll not lose any of the OEM bolts. I think it was in the last video, I drove the rod knocked STI from my old shop here. My main concern was the heads getting damaged. I think I forgot to show this on camera, but I went through the heads and visually looking from someone who is not an expert by any means, the heads seem to be in okay condition. I'll send those off to the machine shop, get them rebuilt, refinished, all of that stuff. They'll tell me then if anything is damaged and needs to get replaced. I was going to take apart the short block in this video to show you guys what the damage is, but I think that is going to wait until the next video. But thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you guys stay tuned for the next video when we tear apart the short block to see what the damage is. Is it just one bearing? Is it two bearings? Is it all the bearings? I do not know, and we will not know until the next video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.